Okay, so what this game comes down to is you can't kick field goals and beat a good football team. We got down inside the 15-yard line several times and kicking field goals, and so we put ourselves in a jam where we could never get over the hump. And then we didn't do a very good job against the rush. The guard tackle pull play gave us a lot of issues. We weren't very effective against the rush. We turned one over. I know there was two, but last one it was kind of a desperation fourth down. But we lost the turnover battle. We were pretty sound penalty-wise. Obviously, Trey got up high. It's the first targeting that we've had this year. We've been so good. I was disappointed that he hit up here. We'd been really good, but for the most part, we were really disciplined in that game. But in the end, it's simple. You can't kick field goals and beat a good team like that. It's tough to keep up with an offense like them, and they were effective rushing the football. So that's the way it comes out. I'll be gone, leaving in the morning, and then I get back in about 5 days, and then be able to watch the tape and kind of get an idea. But just offhand, that's kind of what I think happened.
Mike, the first 9 carries that Chuba had, he had 75 yards. The rest of the night, by my math, it was 29 yards on 15 carries. It seemed like they really packed it in there eventually and dared you to throw. How did that change things for him?
Yeah, they're putting the safeties down in there, and that's why we were trying to throw it. And we got some pass interference and some holding, and we hit some throws on them. So they made the adjustment to drop the safeties down. And then what happened was, by us not keeping it within a one-score game, it allowed them more flexibility on defense. There's kind of a big picture to it. So they started by playing somewhat normal, and then Chuba was hurting them, and then they dropped down. And then we started throwing, and then we got into a multi-score game and allowed him to be aggressive up front with twists and things like that. We almost became one-dimensional.
How do you think OU's defense has evolved this year since they've had Alex Grinch leading them?
They played good this year, in my opinion. They've always had good players, but their schemes are good, and they're running to the ball, playing with more confidence.
Talk about Brooks. You said you weren't good against the run, but what was he better than you thought, or was that just a scheme thing? Or
Their running back?
yeah,
I think he ran fine. He was running through big holes, in my opinion. I mean, you guys are up higher than me. You can see better than I can, but it looked like to me that there's times that he's running and untouched for 6, 7, 8 yards. We struggled with the guard tackle pull play. It's a tough play. They get an extra gap by pulling a guard and tackle. If you crash down, the quarterback keeps the ball. So you got to roll the dice at times and kind of guess with them. It's a tough play to stop.
What do you think of Drew tonight? Kind of had the interception that got called back on the review, but what do you think of his overall?
I thought he played pretty good. He made a poor decision then. He knew it. Got lucky with the call with the player stepping out of bounds. But overall, he played pretty good. He ran the ball effectively at times. He made a bad decision there. He missed a throw to Stoner in the second quarter, going down the middle of the field when I kind of felt like they grabbed our guy and pulled him down. But either way, I was trying to give you an illustration of which one I'm talking about. He missed that throw, and then he made a poor decision there. But overall, they got some pressure on him, and I thought he played pretty good. Yeah, see, he was 22 of 32. I know he had 3 throwaways, so he was pretty effective. You'd say somewhere around 20 of 30 for 207. Made the one bad decision, missed a throw or two, had some pressure, was effective on some draws and stuff. I thought he played pretty well.
He moved with the football too?
He moved around, played pretty well. I thought that his preparation was good. I thought that his competitive nature was good, and he made some throws. So I thought overall he played pretty good. I mean, in the end, it's simple. You lose the turnover battle by 1, not the end of the world. but you can't kick field goals against an offense that can score like they can. We weren't very good against the rush, and I mean, you had 8 points. So if we can score and not kick field goals, you keep it relatively close to a one-score game, and it makes it easier for us to call offensive plays. Doesn't give them as much of an opportunity to free will on defense. So it's pretty simple. So you have to give them credit. They had good plans coach-wise. Their players made plays. We got to rally back now. We'll start back up in about 6 days, and some bowl prep, and start working there and get the guys up and running and get ready to go play in a bowl game.
Mike, it seemed like your secondary, I know obviously the targeting on Trey, but it seemed like overall your secondary did pretty well. I mean, there were times that Jalen essentially took off because
Yeah.
he had nobody to throw to.
You know, except for the first two drives, we turned guys loose. But from that point on, they settled down, and they were in proximity, kind of what you're saying. The bad news on the flip side of that is that means we have one less guy in run support. So, you know, it's the game. We were doing pretty good in that. Guys were a little bit further back. They were rushing the ball. They started running the ball some. I was proud of our guys, though, when we went for the fourth down on the 40-yard line or wherever. Defense came out and got a big stop. They didn't throw the towel in, competed. So I was proud of them for that. So wish we would have played better. They are a good football team, and we lost the turnover battle, didn't stop the rush, and kicked too many field goals. In the end, that's what it come down to.
Tough loss tonight, but after this start to Big 12 play, how proud are you your team for coming back and fighting the way they did throughout
Well,
the season?
these guys have done a great job. We're a young football team. They've rallied. They had their backs against the wall. They fought back, found ways to win games. Defensively, got better as the season went on. You know, we lost Wallace and then lost Spencer. And Drew came in, and Stoner's made some plays. 12 made some plays tonight. 8 stepped up. So I like my guys, okay? It's a disappointing loss because I just didn't feel like we played as good as we could have, okay? Well, let me just say this, coaches and players, okay? I didn't think we performed as good as we could have, coaches and players. But we did lose to a good football team, okay? They're a good football team. They got a lot of skill. And so we should have played better and we should have coached better, in my opinion. But I am proud of them. I told them that in the locker room. I told them the same thing I'm telling you. We could have coached better and we could have played better. But I'm proud of what they've given us this year and the way they rallied and improved. And they're a young football team. They got to learn and keep rolling.
Mike, even though he didn't have probably the last game of the regular season that he would have liked, Chuba still goes over 1,900 yards. There's a few backs in Big 12 history to ever do that.
Pretty
Guys
awesome.
like Adrian and Donta Foreman and those sorts of guys. Just his overall body of work this year continued to be.
Yeah, and he had, so he was 111, netted 104, receiving 13, so he went 117. And you know, that's a lot of yards. I mean, he's been fantastic. I do think he's a little bit fatigued the last 3 weeks or so. He's not been quite as electrifying as he was early in the season, and the reason for that is just wear and tear. You know, it's like we always try to protect those guys, but we haven't been able to protect him. We've had to ride that horse, and so you saw tonight he got in the open field and got tripped. Early in the year, that probably wouldn't have happened. Middle of the year, it probably wouldn't have happened. But he's been fantastic. I mean, 1,900 yards, and I don't know, he's over 2,000 for the year, right? Total offense.
Yeah, total offense. He's actually today he passed Ernest Anderson and Terry Miller. So the only rushing season that Oklahoma State history better than him was Barrett in 88. This is the second best.
And he's got, what, a couple hundred yards in receptions? So he's at 2,100 total offense. Pretty special. Special guy. So he's going to get postseason awards, and he deserves them. It'll be he deserves a rest. We'll probably hold him out for 2 weeks. Probably won't even let him practice for 2 weeks. Just let his body recover.
Did you manage his workload the last 2 weeks in practice as you saw them?
We try, but it's he has to go back out in 6 days and play again. and they take those hits. You know, that's why those guys in the NFL that play that position make all that money, because they just take hit after hit. That's what he did. So we'll probably just leave him out for 2 weeks and just let him recover. The other guys, they need some rest also, but he takes a lot of those direct hits. All right, thanks, guys.